Right, well, hello and welcome to this, another edition of the Crypto Club and Digital Assets Weekly Catch-Up on Zoom. It's Sunday, the 14th September 2025, and as is always the case, never quite know what we're going to be talking about. So, if you're new to crypto, do stick around and see what you can learn. If you're more experienced, then maybe come along, join us, and contribute in future sessions. So they're open to everybody, novice and experts alike. Topics we talk about totally up to the audience, but typically we're talking about blockchains, crypto. We talk about different types of digital assets, central bank digital currencies, stable coins, regulation, and lots more. So with that, let's see who's going to come and join us today. Hello there.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. It says P Bark.
Yeah, Paul.
Paul, welcome aboard. Hi
Thank you.
there. So what brings you along today? What particular interest you have?
Well, I've been in the chat for a while. I keep meaning to make it, but I've started working on my own project. I'm trying to write decentralized smart wallets using account abstraction. And originally I wanted to do it with zero knowledge proofs, but I found it wasn't really working. Um, so I've gone with Falcon 1024, which is post-quantum cryptography. Yeah.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, I think so. And I wrote all the verification contracts this week, so I'm hoping I might actually be able to. Well, I'm testing right now, but I'm hoping I might be able to pull off the first PQC verified transaction on Ethereum soon.
My word. Okay, so that'd be quite interesting. So what will be end result of that then? What will we see?
Well, it'll just be a transaction like any other. The difference is so it'll go through with account abstraction. You have an entry point where bundlers will send the transaction to the entry point, and then the entry point does the verification based on whatever details you put in the smart contract. So right now they typically just do the elliptic curve verification, and they do it based on the owner of the account. So I could generate multiple wallets using my regular keys and use those keys to verify any transaction on those accounts.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm doing is I'm replacing the verification to use the Falcon 1024 instead.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little more expensive in terms of gas, but it's quantum resistant. So
Okay.
it means I'll be able to offer people quantum resistant wallets on Ethereum.
But if you're doing that, that's going to be solely on Ethereum because I get the whole drive around quantum resistance because people keep talking it up as though quantum's the new bogeyman, and
Yeah.
gotcha. But is it that it'll only be deployed on Ethereum because you've written a smart contract that's on the Ethereum platform? You can't use it as a wallet for other blockchains, for example,
For other what, sorry? Oh,
for other blockchains.
no, no, unless they're EVM. But I mean, the majority of them are EVM right now, so I would get a lot of coverage.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. Like Algorand, Bitcoin, Cardano, they wouldn't necessarily even Solana. Those I'll have to look into because they don't necessarily have the mechanisms in place. Like they have
Okay.
some of them. Solana has its own form of account abstraction, but I don't think there's a way to get around using the key to sign it. I think that's pretty much locked in using the old keys.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, it will largely just be Ethereum or EVM based.
Okay.
There was something fairly new on Bitcoin though. I don't know if you've heard of Bitcoin OS. So what they've done is it's using the new wallets on Bitcoin. I think it's BCH32 or something like that, Back 32.
Okay.
Where you can essentially generate a zero knowledge proof that pops up an address and you send the coins to that address. And the only way to spend the money is to provide the proof from the zero knowledge proof.
Okay.
So it is a form of quantum resistance because most zero knowledge proofs, I believe, tend to be in the PQC or post quantum cryptography realm.
Okay.
Um, so I've looked into that because that wouldn't necessarily I wouldn't necessarily have a wallet that can manage Bitcoin directly, but it would be possible to have a wallet that can indirectly control Bitcoin by holding on to the zero knowledge proofs.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that. No. And that's kind of interesting as well, I guess, because that's a different layer of security model, isn't it? Because that way you're not holding the private keys, you're holding the zero knowledge proofs.
Yeah.
which kind of achieve a similar thing. But it's interesting. It does mean that you're not actually holding keys, which is something at least, because when you do that, you become kind of a honeypot.
Well, yeah, and that's part of what I want to do with building my wallet is to avoid anyone having to remember keys.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna part of what I'm gonna do is put in redundancy, um, where there'll be a recovery. You can set up multiple devices, but you can also define friends and family. And so if you lose your device, you can just have your friends and family and say 7 out of 12. If they do this transaction, it will unlock my device or will
Hmm.
unlock the wallet again. So that way, there's no requirement to have a private key. They can be stored securely on the device. Um, and you can just rely on friends, family, or even setting up, everyone has at least one computer, at least one mobile phone. Some people have more. You can just define it so that you have 5 devices, each running wallets that are able to unlock each other so that if one
Hmm.
was compromised, you can lock it, and then recover the wallet through another device.
Okay, so it's kind of like what I describe as an M of N
Yeah.
multi-signature, but it's not multi-sig in the way that some people know it. It's the fact you're effectively delegating um, the key reconstruction to a subset in
Yeah,
effect.
and it would use very similar mechanisms to M of N wallets.
Okay, it's interesting because I'm involved with a US based digital asset crypto company who've developed some similar things, um, which aren't Ethereum based, and they're not um, blockchain hosted. It is like an endpoint type thing. So like a physical hard wallet, which uses some similar principles. So the whole thing we were looking at was the whole delegation piece, as you say, and the recoverability as well. And the way they've developed it is so that you just need a certain number of people or organizations or devices, exactly as you describe, in order to do like a key reconstruction ceremony, in effect, which is kind of
Yeah,
quite neat because it means none of the participants actually hold part of a key, which from a security point of view is quite good. From an insurance point of view is quite good as well. So some overlaps. Maybe I'll try and set up a conversation for you with their team as well. You may
yeah,
find there's some common experiences.
yeah. One thing I find with a lot of the implementations of account abstraction out there is they're heavily centralized.
Hmm.
They still someone somewhere is running a server that has the keys, and everyone's just authenticating against themselves. So to me, I that was well, I've been in the industry for 7 years. I'm fully into the decentralized nature of it, and
Hmm.
for the fact that you have all these wallets that are so centralized, it's a risk as far as I'm concerned. And it just doesn't have the same power. Like it concentrates
Yep.
too much power into too few hands.
Yeah. And this is where I've said to a few people, my belief is about Bitcoin and Ethereum were kind of experiments, and they were experiments to prove or disprove whether decentralization really can work. And up till now, we've managed to disprove it because most things end up some sort of centralization. You know, whether it's a crypto exchange where a lot of exchanges wield a very large amount of power, or they provide some facilitation. So instead of it all being true distributed, decentralized peer to peer, it's still going through a third party or whatever. So yeah, it's interesting. Be keen to learn more when it's at the point where you can be public about it.
Yeah, yeah, I can. The testing is just something else. But I've gotten past it. I've actually got the verification contract working now. I just got that working on Tuesday.
Okay.
So now it's just putting in the plumbing with the entry point and the accounts themselves.
Okay.
So yeah,
Well,
fingers
well, wait.
crossed this week I can maybe do something.
Well, when you're at the point where you want to do a demo or something, you could always come back and show it with us. That'd be really interesting to see.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks.
because I mean, anything that I think supports the true principle of decentralization has got to be good, and anything that makes crypto that little bit easier as well. So the whole challenge of having to remember, your keys and or just seed phrases at least, anything that can make that whole process simpler but maintaining the secure aspect of it has got to be a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, I expect it'll probably be another month or so before I have something where I truly envision. Because all I've been focusing on right now is just the Falcon 24 piece.
Okay,
But I mean, it was such a big piece to get over that I'm hoping the rest of it is a little more
gets a
smooth
bit
and
easier.
yeah,
Yeah, do the tough stuff first. It's always a good approach. So you say
yeah,
you've been into this space for what, about 7 years?
yeah. I worked at Archax for 6.5 years.
Hmm. Okay.
If I'd used to organize an event at CML, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't with. Well, it depends what you mean by CML. If you mean Crypto Monday London, then no.
No,
If you mean CM Law, I think it was called, then yes.
I'm
So,
trying to. Who's I probably got the name wrong, but the law firm on Cannon Street.
yeah. So that was CMS, I think.
CMS, sorry,
CMS
yeah,
Law. Yeah, 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 yeah.
because they used to have a monthly meetup before
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I used to facilitate some of that. So the group I still run, but not so actively, which this is kind of a spin-off of in some ways. The blockchain digital assets meetup, which is um, contrary to what a lot of other people say, is probably the largest, longest lasting blockchain and crypto group in London. So I think I've still got about 3,000 members or something. And yeah, we used to have meetings. We'd sometimes have them at CMS and other law firms who'd facilitate and host us as well. So yeah, that
Yeah.
used to be really good.
So
And
yeah, I
then
worked at
lockdowns kicked in and that.
yeah. So yeah, I worked at Archax for 6.5 years. I I was their sixth employee, if that includes the three co-founders. I was there in the very early days as a business analyst. So I my background prior to that was working at TD Bank in Toronto,
Okay.
where I did mainly project management and IT management and Swift payments and trade finance. So they brought me in because I had the project management experience and the payments. And I helped them to sort of set up the company originally. I wrote a lot of their initial documentation, policies, procedures. And then I sort of transitioned into a product manager for them. Um, and I stayed until last June, but I'd been telling them about account abstraction and saying, you need to pay attention to this. There's something in this. And it just never caught their attention. So I decided to go off on my own and do it.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's the nature of some of these things, though. And our checks, because I remember they were going through the FCA sandbox program same time as one of the companies I was working with was doing that. So I remember, I think we were on the same cohort at one point.
Hmm.
So it's nice that our checks have ended up getting their FCA accreditation and are still around. Which compared to many of the others from like 2016 onwards have kind of like died away. So yeah, it's good, and it's a small world as well because I've seen some of the people I think move around, and some of the other people on the cohort move around as well, and still some familiar names. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. Yeah. Hey, later we're just chatting about some really interesting quantum resistant capabilities for blockchain, primarily on Ethereum at the moment.
All right. Quantum resistance capability for blockchain.
Sorry, I just had a sign up that said I've lost my speaker or something, so do carry on.
Yeah.
But this is the problem. We're introducing these new technologies, and then some of the basic stuff like, can I get my speaker to work? or printer, as they had them. So, okay,
So,
that's interesting.
yeah,
I don't know if there's anything else then that's going on that is of interest at the moment. So I found the entire crypto and blockchain markets, to me, seems to have gone really quiet lately. We were discussing this on the call last week, that we seem to be going through an intellectual crypto winter, should we say?
They probably all moved to AI.
Hang on, I can't hear you at the moment unless.
I
but
said they've
but
probably all moved to AI.
And it's interesting you mentioned that, because it's a bit. I run a number of WhatsApp and Telegram channels, and I've found it fascinating how we had people who were suddenly at one point experts in distributed ledger technology, who became experts in smart contracts, who became experts in oracles, who then became experts in medical PPE when lockdowns kicked in, and then they became experts in AI. Yeah, so you're right. They seem to be very good at being experts at many things. So you're probably right. Maybe a bunch of people have moved on to the next big thing. So they're all into, I guess, agentic AI is the current-ish fad.
I always find the meetups tend to the attendance of the meetups tends to correlate with the price of crypto as well. When it's a bull run, there's a lot of people that will go to the meetups and meetings. But once it's a bear market, they go quiet.
I'm sure you said some really interesting things, Dan. Couldn't hear a word of it.
I was just saying how the attendance at the meetups tends to correlate to the bull markets. That's all. Prices are up, people are more interested.
Okay, can you hear me at the moment?
Yep.
Okay. I'll try that instead. We could type, yeah. That'd be good. Just switch the cameras off, switch the audio off and whatever. I think I can just about hear you now. Go on, one of you speak then. Let me out of my misery. Elena, can you hear me?
you said it's a crypto winter, but isn't it funny it is happening over the summer?
Yes, yeah. Well, it's crypto English winter, where the summer's never very warm. So maybe that's it.
Maybe.
But yeah, good point. I'm struggling with the technology here. It's causing real problems. So we may have to kill this call off early, I'm afraid, because I'm struggling to hear anything unless you shout.
That's
True.
a pity.
Yeah. So go on, Elena. Anything new on your side? What's happening in the metaverse world?
Oh, everything is quiet. The same.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, because I'm having problems with this connection. Really sorry for that. I'll kill the call off and I'll try again next week. But thank you both for joining anyway, and be really interested to learn more about the whole quantum resistant piece. And when you're at the point where you want to do a demo of it, we can use this call maybe, and more than happy to facilitate that.
Yeah, okay.
That'd be good. Cool. Excellent. Right. Well, thanks, folks, and have a great evening. Sorry about that.